Look at this. This space right here. Like, I feel I could breathe even more without having to worry or think about it. I had all this stuff recorded from the moment I woke up and my phone started acting up. Carla was telling me this morning that she was trying to call me and that her calls weren't going through. So I definitely have been talking about that I've needed to upgrade my phone. My camera at times like is really pixelated and the quality's bad, but I try to make do with what I have, to where from this morning now, like almost 12 hours later, is now 7:15 p.m. Well, nothing saved on my phone. I turned it off. I tried to reset it, and all the things that I recorded from this morning up until like a couple of hours ago are now missing. It is not in the trash bin or anything on here. So I'm like, why me? Why not me? I would prefer to be me than you to have these little bickering moments that we could all laugh at. So I ended up selling 2 items. One was one of two, well, 2 of 2 now. 2 of 2 little brass easels. I got them together at the Goodwill thrift store out on Maryland and Sands when I went with Mikey Bags of Money and carried a Desert Mermaid. Ran into some friends, some new friends, some other resellers, had a great time. And part of the thrifting there, Carrie found these little 2 brass easels and I told her to take them. She said, nah, I don't like these. And I said, Carrie, why do you keep doing that? Like, I'm gonna show you that these sell. And it's been about 2 months now and they have sold. So the first one sold for $24. This one this morning that I already dropped off sold for $20 each of them plus shipping. And then the other order that came up were, what was today? What did I list? Oh, the Texas Longhorn plush. So I ended up bundling those up and I sold them for $34 doll hairs plus shipping. Dropped those off. Again, I had all of this recorded and it wasn't there. And I was sitting on the couch and I had my head looking up that ceiling. I was like, what do I do? And I was like, do what you do best. Don't give up and make the most of it. So I am just recapping you on things that I've already done today. But now I end up getting another order for some Peter Millar shorts that I got at that new thrift store that I went with Caesar to. And there's been quite a few things that have sold from there. And these shorts, these Peter Millar shorts, let me pull them out. I might have them in the package, so I won't be able to completely show you, but I'll show you and continue to show you more of these screenshots from what I sold today alone. So awesomeness, because I made a big mistake that I can't believe I did. And I don't know if there's anybody else in the reseller world that has done this. And I wouldn't mind if I'm the only one that has, because I rather it, again, be me than any of you. Let me get these Peter Millar shorts and pack them up, because tomorrow I am planning on going sourcing with Caesar at some community yard sales here. He's going to pick me up at 7 a.m. First, let me get these shorts because I'm going to pack these up because I won't have enough time to do it tomorrow morning. So being proactive here. Whew. All right, I got them. So these polka dot Peter Millar, they actually happen to be part of a Seaside collection, which is why they sold more than what other people are just listing as Peter Millar board shorts, trunk swim shorts. I looked inside and saw the label and put it up in the eBay search engine, and they showed a different price, and people are selling these for a lot less. So it's good to be aware of limited edition type items. These sold for $34 and change. Remember, I only paid like $27 or $24 for all of these different types of things that I got at the thrift store. And I do want to go there again. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think Caesar has already been there like 3 times. Did I run out of poly bags too? I'm running out of everything. Everything is happening today. We got this. We got this, folks. Give me a second. I guess this is my last one. I am running out of stuff. Things are happening. Things will always happen. It's not what happens, it's how you react to what happens. that matters the most. All right, so these shorts right here are going inside this poly bag. I'm gonna tape up the ends because I always tape up the ends on here because I just get paranoid for it. And by the ends, I mean here, because they have those little holes on there. And I'm sure many of you have already heard, I'm sure a few of you have heard me say this again, but I like to tape this up because when I used to work in the post office, these openings used to draw in a lot of corners of other pieces of mail, especially envelopes, and it used to do a lot of damage. So when I started reselling, even when I was at the post office, I had just started reselling, and I always took that as a precaution to tape up the edges. It only takes a few seconds longer, and sure, you waste tape, but it's for a good purpose. So these are 7 ounce, let's say 7 ounces. All right, 1083, and it is 1083 are going to be the dimensions of it. It is going to go for $4.68. So ladies and gents, let me tell you about what happened. I made a big mistake this morning, and it started from a few days ago. I ended up refunding the wrong person. I don't know if anybody has ever done this, but I sure have made the impossible possible in my life. Not just once, not just twice. I'm pretty sure there's quite a bit of times, but I always try to make it right. My phone has been acting up. On top of that, there's other things that are like giving me obstacles and challenges, and I am making the most of it and not trying to stress out about anything, and learning from this to share with you all not to repeat the same things. I'd rather learn from people's mistakes than to be the mistake that people learn from. But I love this approach as well, to show that I make mistakes and things do happen, so that way you don't have to. Let's take this back a few days ago to where I ended up selling the Wildland fire retardant firefighter pants for $200. Remember when I said, oh, I found 4 of them. And then later on in the video, I ended up saying, wait, hold on a minute. I actually have 5. Come to find out, I just folded one or grabbed it in a weird way to where it curled, and I counted 1 twice, thinking that there were 5 instead of 4. So when the pants sewed, I remember just having this feeling that something was wrong. 4, 5, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, what if I thought, let me look at my listings. What did I put down in the listing? In my title, I just have the description that there is a lot of these pants, all the same size of waist and length of the leg inseam. But in the description is where I specify that there are 5 pants in total. So rather than wishing that nobody would catch this and be, sneaky, my conscience speaks to me very loudly in a pleasant way, to where I just want to do good and not have to look over my shoulder like I was when I was a teenager, thinking that the world was against me and I was getting into some troubles with the law. So now that I'm an adult, I think about these things and don't want to relive those feelings again of feeling bad, and that nothing bad is ever going to catch up to me if all I continue to do is try my best and do the right thing. And that's what I ended up doing. So rather than waiting on the buyer, the customer, to catch this mistake, whether they read the description or not, because they could have just read the title and it would have been good, because I didn't have a number in the title. So I reached out to the buyer and I told them that I made a mistake, that there are not 5, that there are actually 4 like in the photo, but in the description I listed that there were 5. The person replied back after around 4 hours, because they were at work or out busy, said that they were really wanting 5, that if I could refund them $20 to make it right, that would be good with them. And I thought, oh, hell yeah, $20? That's awesome. I was thinking they were probably going to be like $50, $60, $70, which was still would have been good, right? But $20 is a pretty reasonable and more than fair deal. So I told them I could not refund them right away, because if I did, and then they end up receiving the items, that they were going to end up it was going to end up being a little harder, because I already refunded them before. I was have to get in contact with eBay. They would have to check what's going on and do their own research and then sort it out. So this would have been an easier way to be work it amongst us, right? So they were fine with it. They said, cool, I'll wait for the items like I recommended they do. Make sure everything's straight, so that way if they try to do a return request, then there would be issues like I mentioned. But they received the items, and this morning they messaged me saying that everything was good. And I said, awesome, that was my thumbs up to give them a refund. What I ended up doing, because I was just waking up, being all excited and still all boogery-eyed and everything, I was literally in bed. Didn't fully wake up. I just heard the chime on eBay and was like, oh, what's going on? So I was really excited about that. And what I ended up doing was making another mistake. I made another mistake in my life. And this one, I ended up going to the sold listings on eBay, and I just saw pants. Again, I was just waking up. I saw pants on there, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, refund, $20, cool. And then I was like, now I'm starting to wake up. I realized I only saw one pant in the photo. I refunded the person who bought the recent cool radical pants $20. So I'm like, geez, man, Sonny, what's going on? Like, get yourself together. How would that be to be like, hey, I refunded you $20 even though you didn't ask for it. Can you send it back? My mistake. I messaged that person and I was like, relax, breathe in, breathe out, get yourself together. Make sure you're doing the correct thing, not just feeling like you're doing the right thing, but do the correct thing. Are you messaging the right person to the right message of what's going on? So I messaged the person of the cool jeans saying, hey, I refunded you $20. It's my mistake. It was supposed to go to somebody else, but you enjoy your wonderful weekend. I do not want anything in return. It was my mistake. Have a great time. And they're probably like, hell yeah, I'm going to keep buying from this idiot again. So now I'm like, okay, slowly looking at the sold. I go to my Wildland fire retardant firefighter pants. I click on the refund, $20. I double check. I look up, I look down, I look up, I look down. $20 send. Everything good to go. And the person's like, hey, thank you for pretty much making this easy. So the person thanked me after I told him I refunded them, the correct person this time. So that was $40 right there. So it could have just been 20, but oh man, I don't know if I'm the only person that has ever done this. And I hope I'm the last one. This shouldn't be something that there's a habit of anybody doing. This is the first time in 6 years I have ever done that. And I find it to be hilarious. On top of that, when I went to go get an oil change yesterday, they told me and showed me that I needed to change my brake pads on my back brake pads. And I asked for an estimate, and the mechanic was like, I don't know what the estimate is. The clerk will tell you. And I thought that was funny because the manager of the place was actually there with the mechanic, and she's the one that caught me at the door saying, hey, you're Sonny, right? Mr. Smiles. I love your smile. And the mechanic was right there walking up, and she says his name. He's like, hey, look who I found. He's like, oh, let me show you these brake pads. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's actually going to show me what's wrong. And he shows me, and it was like super thin. So I asked for an estimate. He couldn't give me a price. He was like, you gotta ask the clerk up there. They got the info. So I go up to the clerk. I paid $44 for my oil change. I did go thrifting. I need to put that video out maybe tomorrow or have it ready Sunday. Because again, there's been a lot of issues with my phone and things going on with me. And I'm just trying to make good and to make the day the most of what I can. So I asked the clerk if there was an estimate for the brake pads, and they said, so, oh, I don't know, but they did talk to me about it. I'm like, well, what do you know? Because she usually gives prices to me, but then again, she was new. I haven't seen her before, so I'm like, all right, so you're not gonna give me a price? And they're like, oh no. And I was like, okay. I was expecting that to be a sign or a hint to ask your manager or their manager, and they didn't. But the manager was right behind me too, so whatever. So I didn't get an estimate on that. So there goes some monies that I lost over refunding people. And I reached out to a friend, and they said it would cost $300, that they would do it. And that would be labor and the brake pads included. And that if I helped them, they'll just leave it at $300. And I was like, okay. So now my goal is to make, I'm going to reach for $400 as fast as possible to put towards my brake pads, my front and back brake pads. So man. As of right now, with this 3 sales today, that helped me out getting over the refunds. So now I'm at like $35 towards this new $400 goal. And man, boy, oh boy, yeah, that's what happened today, folks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go sourcing tomorrow with Caesar. I am going to be very mindful of what I get because I have a budget and I have a new challenge of raising $400 off of the items that I source for. So, yeah. I hope y'all have a better weekend than what I had today. So you see me again maybe tomorrow or Sunday because tomorrow I'm going to be sourcing and meeting up with friends. So yeah, y'all have a good one. Only me, right?